Friends and family are remembering an ESPN reporter who died on his birthday. Edward Aschoff had close ties to Atlanta. He died yesterday on his 34th birthday after what the network is describing as a brief illness. He was based in Atlanta, reporting college sports for 2 years before moving on to ESPN in Los Angeles. According to ESPN, Aschoff was an inaugural Atlanta United season ticket holder and was there for the 2018 MLS Cup final to see that team win the title.
Edward Aschoff had been battling pneumonia. Colleagues remember him as a well-dressed, witty, and talented storyteller who took pride in helping the next generation of journalists.
In Tuscaloosa, I'm Edward Aschoff, ESPN.
A rising star.
You guys at Alabama aren't used to losing a lot.
And an enterprising reporter.
Looking at it as a head coach, winning in the big house.
Edward Aschoff had already made his mark.
Tough loss on the road.
The Oxford, Mississippi native joined ESPN in 2011 and quickly became known for his outgoing personality and powerful reporting.
Our condolences go out. He was nothing but first class to this organization and always to me. And Ed, you'll be missed.
Aschoff was a mainstay on the sidelines at college games across the country, where he also covered the more polarizing sides of college sports. In 2016, he won first place for enterprise writing in a national contest for his piece on the impact of race and discrimination in college football. On Twitter, ESPN Senior Vice President Rob King called Aschoff a ray of light who brought joy to the job.
Our thoughts are with his loved ones, including his fiancée, Katie. My heart goes out to you all.
Aschoff was engaged last year. His fiancée proposed with a ring shaped like one of his favorite film characters, Godzilla.
I had the pleasure of patrolling the college football sidelines with Ed, and it was amazing to see the respect he commanded.
On Christmas Day, Aschoff's colleagues paid tribute to his legacy.
For as good as a reporter Ed was, he was an even better person. He always put people first, those whose stories he told, and those of us who had the honor of working with him.
We now turn to a heartbreaking story that's really hit our ESPN family hard. 34-year-old ESPN college football reporter Ed Aschoff suddenly passed away on his birthday after revealing he had contracted pneumonia. ABC's Kenneth Moulton here with how this all happened. And again, we said it's his birthday, but this was also on Christmas Eve. Just a heartbreaker here, Kenneth.
An extreme heartbreaker, TJ. This has been a difficult one to grasp. Ed Aschoff, young, at the top of his game, seemingly healthy, then dying after revealing a battle with pneumonia. At just 34 years old, he was the future, a rising star in college football reporting on ESPN. Aschoff had been public about his health problems, writing before Thanksgiving, "For someone who never gets sick, I've had some fever, cough, fatigue, flu thing for about 2 weeks now." Earlier this month, the sports reporter revealed he had been diagnosed with bilateral pneumonia. Aschoff tweeted, "Days are getting better, but nights are basically fever and coughing and sweating." On Christmas Eve, ESPN confirmed Aschoff died on his 34th birthday, just months ahead of his spring wedding. The tributes have been pouring in from the sports world. Aschoff's colleagues remembering him for his work as an anti-bullying activist and for his dedication to his job. We are thinking about our sister network, ESPN, and Aschoff's family this morning, TJ.
All right, Kenneth, thank you so much.
Aschoff tweeted in early December that he had pneumonia in both lungs. Healthy young adults typically have a lower risk of contracting pneumonia, but according to the American Thoracic Society, half of adults with normal immune systems who are hospitalized for severe pneumonia are younger adults.
And Dr. Ashton here with me now. People hear pneumonia, seemingly perfectly healthy, 34-year-old young man. How does this happen?
Well, first, let's talk about what pneumonia is, TJ. Basically, you get an infection in the air sacs of the lungs. They fill up with fluid. If you look at these chest x-rays, healthy on the left, all that black is air. On the right, you see white. That is consolidation of infection. Pneumonia can be viral, bacterial, or fungal. And in this season in particular, what we see and what we worry about oftentimes is influenza, which is a virus, then segueing into a bacterial pneumonia. People can get incredibly sick.
Okay, how do we know? Because sometimes we feel bad. I just need to be in bed. I need to have my fluids. How do you know it's taking a turn and you need to go see a doctor?
So if you take a look at this list of symptoms in adults, TJ, it's important for people to remember high fever, cough, chest pain that's worse with breathing, a shortness of breath, elevated heart rate, elevated respiratory rate. We make the diagnosis with a chest x-ray and by listening to the lungs. This is important for people to know. Adults over the age of 65, there is a vaccine that can dramatically reduce the risk of pneumonia. But remember, we heard it with Whoopi Goldberg getting it. Pneumonia kills upwards of 50,000 adults in this country every year, and this is a tragic example of that.
All right, Dr. Ashton, a great warning and great lessons here we need to all be reminded of. Thank you so much.
And in my time at ESPN, I did not know him. Our paths barely crossed. So many of my former colleagues have tweeted out, and what you heard there, it was about the person that he was and the impact that he had on so many people.
This story was so heartbreaking to read. He had his whole life ahead of him. He passing away on his birthday, and he put an Instagram post to his fiance saying, "Love you, babe. Thank you for putting up with my 5 a.m. coughing fits." It was really tough to read. I'm so sorry that this happened, and our condolences to his family and to his fiance.
Somebody so young.
You feel it through his smile, through the interviews that we saw.